I'm just joking.
Huh? What? Look at this dude. Hey, look, we're at the church where Donald Trump was satanic and held his Bible upside down.
Upside down.
After he had the fucking troops gas people that were protesting here, he gassed them. He gassed his citizens with our U.S. dollars and our troops so he could stand right here on this plaza, and that's the White House right down there, and hold a Bible upside down. Now, my friend here who I'm first talking to for the first time ever,
yes.
And by the way, my name's Nate, by the way.
Nathaniel. I'm Corey.
And I'm Nathaniel, and I said, well, did you know that Jared Kushner has a building in New York City, like 666 Broadway or something like that, is one of his main like big buildings in New York City? And he was like, what? And I said, so man, his people probably told him to put the Bible upside down. Anyways, we started talking, and Corey was saying some stuff, and I asked if I could make some video, audio, and he said he would actually be on camera while we talk about this. So I pulled out my camera, and I'm gonna dial this thing in here real quick. I gotta put my satellite receiver on here real quick, and then and then it will go like that. How's that, man? Is that cool?
Yeah.
That's is that cool like that?
Yeah, that's cool.
All right. And I'll plug myself in there too.
You gonna get over here?
No, you stay. You comfortable, man.
Okay,
I'm just sitting here like this.
So you want me to start where I left off?
Yeah, man. Please, about your grandmother.
Right.
Right?
So my Mima told me a couple stories before. She told me how it's a lumber yard in Mobile, Alabama. How they used to, cut, the African American people heads off and put them on pikes and just leave it there. And she told me this, and I was like, people would just drive by and just, continuously keep going. And till this day, that street don't nobody ever go down there because it's just a lumber yard. Like you can go back there and really disappear.
Yeah.
Like don't nobody go down that street. Like people would just stay on like the main streets.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy living down there, dude. Like they still have the beheading stone in the park in Bienville Square. It's a granite divot. It's a divot in the head in a piece of granite where people would lay their heads and get their heads cut off. I've noticed other things.
Where's that again?
Bienville Square.
Bienville Square. Where's that at?
Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile, Alabama.
Everything I'm going to tell you about is in Mobile, Alabama, because that's where I lived majority of my life. I lived my first 10 years there. Then I left. I did 8 years in Georgia, and then I came back, and then I did another 15 in Mobile, Alabama. So, like everything that happened there. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, cause I would go walking a lot, right?
Yeah.
It's like somebody just like, hey man, go walking, and I just start going walking, and I start noticing, I walk by, awnings,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I would notice the stuff, I'm watchful.
Yeah.
Then I come back probably like a day or so later, and there's a new steel cable wrapped in plastic. It's hanging there. I'm like. Then people like going missing. The KKK is active again. Like people notice they're like they're on social media saying watch out between 7:30 at night and 9 o'clock in the morning. You gotta watch out because they would come snatch you.
I heard the stories about back in the fucking day when they would let motherfuckers out of jail at like 2 or 3 in the morning so they could lynch them. And they'd be like, go ahead, you're free to go now. They'd be like, what? Beat it now. And they'd start walking home or whatever, and they'd get lynched. Like down in the South.
Never heard that. Never heard that.
Yeah, man. I saw it in it's kind of a movie or something like that. They talk about that was a strategy.
Wow.
Yes,
Tell them they was free, and then when they caught him, he tried to escape.
Bro. Well, old Colonel Sanders calls up old Colonel Sanders' cousin and says, hey, we're about to let Frank out of jail or whatever dude's name is. Mm-hmm. And they we're going to let him out at 2, so y'all be ready, boys. Yeah. Come on, boys. Y'all boys ready?
Yeah.
Yeehaw. Fucking yeehaw.
Wow.
Crackers, man.
I've seen
crackers.
I've seen other things. What was it? The winch cables.
Yeah, for tightening shit on the trucks and stuff.
Yeah, on the trucks.
Yeah.
Hanging in the tree, but at a lower weight, you can just lean on somebody and do that. I found another one. I found this in D.C.
Yeah.
I'm walking and I see the rope on a shrubbery. It was like a pretty high shrubbery.
Yeah, like a crepe myrtle or something that size.
Yes.
Yeah.
I seen the rope. I'm like, what the heck? And
Yeah.
like it's simple. It's simple. Just like to hang the rope
Fucking
there
weird, stupid.
and lean on somebody, and it's still hanging. Cause like
It's
here
all-
in DC, you have all these cameras. You can just lean low and do it.
It's all subliminal. It's also like psychological.
Yes, cause it really does affect
Because some
you.
people don't think about it, and some people do.
Yeah.
And it's one of those fucking tactics, man. It's a tactic. It fucking makes me sick. I was telling somebody recently they had moved from like hippie town, like NorCal.
NorCal?
Like Humboldt. Like the home of chronic.
No, I didn't.
Well,
follow
weed.
it about the
Well,
drugs.
weed. Like Northern California is where like they started growing a really good weed back in the day.
Uh-huh.
Like way back there in Colorado and a few other places.
Yeah.
But they moved to Tennessee and they were saying they don't understand it there, like how people are near the country,
Yeah.
And I said, well, you got rednecks, but you can't look at it like that. You got country rednecks, and then you got cracker rednecks.
Mm.
Country rednecks are cool motherfuckers. The cracker rednecks are the people you're like, hell no, they got to go, because those are the ones you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then motherfuckers, my friend who's a pastor, he said, you don't got to worry about them kind of people as much, but more like the ones that are in the Brooks Brothers suits over here in these buildings that we don't know.
Yeah.
That's more, but then again, maybe I don't know what I'm saying. He told me that, but.
I mean, like it's other things like like they made the
Preach,
movie
spit.
like okay when you're a kid,
Yeah.
not every black parent automatically comes out and go, well, you're 8 now. I got to show you something. We were slaves before, not us personally. We were slaves
Yeah.
before. They wouldn't open up a book. Some parents would. My mom showed didn't, right? So I found out when I was 13. Went to school one day. Damn, I cracked up. Hey, turn the page such and such. Opened the page, and there was the boat that we came over on. I'm like,
Oh shit!
I'm like, bro,
Whoa, you 13?
13,
Fucking
13 years old.
Are you kidding me, bro?
I'm not playing with you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is the first time I found out.
Damn, dude.
This is the first day, cause I've always I didn't know, but I'm I would walk around my head and I'm like, what is this?
Yeah.
What is this? What is this weight?
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's just it's crazy. It's crazy. So when I found it out, I went home. I'm like, he ain't tell me about it. My dad, my mom ain't tell me about it. My grandma ain't talk about it.
Oh shit.
And then I wasn't able to hang out with other kids because my dad was a military crazy. He did Desert Storm, and he would when I had bad grades because I was traumatized. I had that's another story.
Right.
But
Yeah. I'm
I had-
traumatized too.
I had
PTSD,
bad
I
grades.
think. Go ahead.
Yeah, I got PTSD too from getting hit by a car twice. When I got bad grades, I had to stay in the house.
Yeah.
Sometimes a whole month, and he'll let me go outside one day. And then summer come around, we get the last report card. You can go outside for one day, the whole summer. So that made me draw into myself. I read a lot. When he
Stay
would,
inside the whole summer?
yeah,
Like
I'm dead
literally?
serious. Literally.
Literally, like you didn't take the trash out?
Yeah, I took the trash out. Like this one, I got
but not
to
to play, like to chill, like to be with your friends.
not to play at all.
Damn, what a
Not
dick.
to play at all. It's just
Just because of your report card?
yeah.
Did he tutor you all summer to get your grades up and
No.
teach you shit?
No.
So he basically
He just-
said, you're fucked up, you're dumb, and I'm not going to get you out of it by teaching you, but now you can't go out all summer neither, and I'm not going to help you myself. And you're like, well, Dad, who's going to help me then?
Yeah, that's how some black parents are.
That's how
they
all parents are, man.
Yeah,
Me and my kids like kids helping kids
You right.
because the parents fucking all failed us, man.
you're right.
a lot
All
of times.
parents are. Yeah,
And not everybody, but
it's not a black thing.
I got some friends, man. I'll be like, man, you gotta remember, you have nice, really like awesome parents, dude. That's why you're where you are, man. Like,
Yeah.
And motherfucker be like, I did it all on my own. Like, yeah, you did it all on your own, except for your family's like, no, some motherfuckers. But I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's like that did a number on me. So when I got back to Mobile, Alabama, in 2006, because I stayed with him for 8 years. Get back to Mobile, Alabama, and everybody, my sisters and my little brother, they were we're drawn from it. They because I left them when I was 10, and then I was gone for 8 years. That's 8 years, a long time. And I would come back, on and off. Some summers she would let me come back to Mobile. Some summers, not all. And I come back, and then when I would see them withdrawn, they really didn't want to talk to me. Separation.
Yeah.
So, I took offense to it, but I didn't say anything to them. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, they don't like me. They don't want to be around me. I'm a lame now. But you know, I loved them. I remember doing everything for them. You know, changing the diapers, bathing. You know, at the age of 6.
So like for me, man, mine was like my dad and my mom. For a while, my dad moved out. He actually moved into D.C. over near Eastern Market.
Yeah.
Then he moved back to Reston with my stepmom, and they got together. And then they moved out to Leesburg, and then they moved out to Lovettsville, and then they moved to Texas. So like, but on the weekends as a kid growing up, I go to my dad's house in Leesburg all the time.
Yeah.
Or, you know, so like, and then so like all my friends in Leesburg who I was friends with on the weekends hung out during the week as well, and all my friends in Reston who were my friends on the weekends hung out as well. So I only blended over a couple times until about age 16 or so when I started driving a little bit, and I was lucky enough to be gifted a car by my parents, an old Chevrolet Citation.
Yeah.
And I would cruise around, and that's when I started hanging out wherever I wanted in the weekends, and then it became more like okay. And then I went to college, but at the same time it was like. Yeah, it's like if you don't have that constant, there's no constants, you know? It's like almost like the yin and the yang, like back and forth with the moms and the dads, you know?
Like,
and they talk shit about each other too.
There's like if you start picking up boxing,
They talk shit, that's what they kill you most.
if you start picking up boxing and they tell you, hey, go home and make sure you practice and do your push-ups and go running at night or in the morning, do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
And then you like, cause you know, and then next week you got sparring. And you don't do none of those things, you think you're just gonna hop up and perform perfectly? That's how it is being withdrawn and not being able to socially interact with
He's
people.
the famous guy.
They're not the rock stars.
Who's that guy? Let's go see him. Let's go talk to him. Hey, who's that guy? Hey, who is that?
That's the guy from Showtime.
Showtime?
Yeah.
Hold on. Hey, Mr. Showtime.
Yeah, that's the guy from Showtime.
Hey, Mr. Showtime. What's up, man? Cheers,
man.
brother. Cheers, brother.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, man. Tell me about that. Ha ha ha. Hi, my name's Donald Trump and I'm an asshole, and I hold the Bible up satanically for my stepson-in-law, Jared Kushner, who stole everything from the United States government by plugging in his robot to our computers, by having secret clearance that no idiot should have. For some reason, our government let them have it. I'm sorry. That was Showtime. I guess that guy's famous, bro.
Yeah, it's like, I think he may be a rock star or something like that because he dressing like one.
They said he's
Well, definitely
some
gotta be a
guy
rock
from
star.
Showtime. I don't know what that means. I wonder if it's a channel or like the I guess the channel or a special show or something. I don't know.
But yeah,
He's on our show now too.
But yeah, it's like it's a lot of things we don't know. Like it's a lot of pieces to the puzzle we still haven't put together yet. Things that we think that aren't real possibly may be real.
100%, man.
100%.
100%
Like do you,
100% real.
would you believe that people see in different frequencies? You may see a person, I may see somebody, he may not.
You mean like colorblindness kind
Yeah,
of?
colorblind. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see what you're saying. Okay. So that would explain some things maybe that I've thought of before. That I
Because
thought
we got
maybe-
these
about like-
these satellites and everything floating up above our heads, shooting rays down. You put on a special suit,
Yeah.
light reflecting, do whatever.
Yeah.
You just blend in.
Yeah, man.
It's just an idea.
There's a lot of cameras over there. What's
Yeah.
going on? They got the lights set up too.
Yeah, I seen him earlier when I was walking past. I got like they
I guess there's always setting cameras up over there.
yeah,
There's
people
somebody
from other
India.
countries.
Yeah, there's India TV was over there earlier. India TV.
That was 3 days ago.
No, just now. I just saw him today. Just over there earlier.
Oh.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, man. But man, so you're Mimo, man.
Yeah. She
Please.
she told me a couple other things like I didn't believe the pricing. I couldn't believe it, but like I had to at the time. So she told me that, you know, the people that would go and pick cotton, you know, in her day, they would go and pick the cotton and they would get paid 50 cents. But her she said a dollar, 50 cents or a dollar, something like that. Her dad would charge them 25 cents one way and then 25 cents back the other way. So he made him some money and left them broke. But you know what I'm saying? Unless you was gonna walk there and then walk back.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's crazy. Like that's the only 2 stories. Because remember I told you 2 stories.
Yeah.
That's the only 2 stories she ever told me about. You know, back in the day.
My dad had a van pool.
A van pool.
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea because he would pick people up on the waving from Leesburg
Mhm.
into D.C. because he worked at Pepco for like 20 years,
Mhm.
and then He'd give them a ride back in the evening back to their destinations, like in Reston along the way back to Leesburg. And so basically kind of the same thing. So when he was coming to work, he was like, I might as well make money on the way to work and on the way back.
Yeah.
It's kind of unnatural to like leave that far away and leave that early and be back that late, and like, I don't know, it must be very difficult to commute. And the DC traffic has gotten crazier and crazier. And,
Man, I hear people slamming on brakes and blowing horns, but I never hear collisions.
Hey, you want me to say on here what I said earlier, what my friend had told me, that you were like, really?
Yeah.
Should I tell you about that one? Remember what I said earlier?
What was that?
It was about the raping and stuff.
Oh.
Do you want me to say that on here?
Man, bro.
That's
crazy.
On here,
It is real. Men and women.
Okay, so my friend Eddie, he told me, I grew up on an Alabama plantation, and a modern one, and he's down in Alabama, and he said his grandma or his great grandma, Eddie's about 70, were slaves, and they told him stories. And in addition to saying that how they would rape women and then sell their own children as products, which is fucked up, he also said, in order to keep the men in line, they would do what was called buck breaking. And buck breaking means that they fucking rape the men. And if you're gonna rape a man, you gotta have other men hold him down. So and then I started talking about the male gang rape culture of the slave master, which is the same people who built these buildings here in DC, the White House. I mean, come on. And there's actually a statue. I was telling my friend, my new friend Corey, there's a statue right over here, that way on H Street, on the same corner as on the northeast corner of Lafayette Park, is a statue, a military statue that says military instruction, and it's a Roman soldier, full Roman soldier in garb with other weird stuff on the monument as well, with a naked, muscular young man or boy, naked with a sword and a fig leaf over his cock, his genitalia. I'm sitting on a church stairs. I'm gonna keep it calm, but it's very offensive, very insane, and if that's the mentality that runs our military, and it says military instruction, and like they have a V instead of a U, it's so old that statue's been there. So I think it might be time to kind of do like what they did at Monument Avenue in Richmond, maybe with some of the weird stuff around here in DC.
Sweep it on out the way.
Can I? It's so weird, dude. And that is the Roman. That's the Roman, and that's the Greek, and that's the catch the babies and throw them, the ones that are unwanted, and throw them in piles, dead baby piles. Kill unwanted babies, and that's kind of like I don't know if I could say this, but it's kind of like modern day abortion. Run around and do what the fuck you want, forget the sacrament, the sacredness, and then just throw the babies in the trash. But I tell you what, even a woman, if you went to a woman's womb and took a baby out that was only 1 month in gestation, and you killed that little tiny baby, they could call you a murderer in the courtroom, I bet you.
Yes.
But if a doctor does it with a PhD, and it's because the woman doesn't give a fuck, or it's just a new form of birth control. I know a woman, and she's my friend, and she's put out books, and she works with the Virginia DOC, Department of Corrections, and other places, and preaches and talks to people all over the world, and had a radio show in Richmond for many years. She was a crack whore, literally, and she'll say it, in DC in the 1980s. She had, I think, 5 abortions, and it's a very interesting story. Check out Bernard Nathanson. He's kind of the doctor who made abortions legal, and afterwards he realized that the rich people had tricked him, and he eventually fought against it, but he didn't have the money behind him to change what he said science proved. Now, you tell me if I'm wrong. If a woman goes to a doctor, they can call it an abortion, no matter what. If I go to her house and kill that little tiny pea-sized, whatever it is, the piece of rice, and I kill that baby and that baby was wanted, you'll call me a murderer. The fuck's the difference?
It's crazy.
That's just one little piece of fucking advice.
It's crazy, and then
the devaluation of humanity is what I'm talking about. Human children and babies.
Yeah.
And I have friends who've said they're thankful they didn't get aborted because they were unwanted. Go ahead, bro.
It's crazy. It's another thing. Like he say.
Sorry, church.
He was talking about how a woman back in the '80s was a drug user, and it's like then she had all those babies due to possibly rape, or sexing or whatever.
Yeah.
But to change the subject, it's like the cops here, some of the Secret Service guys, they have bad attitudes, they have mental problems, and they still get to serve and carry weapons. Some of them don't care and don't want to hear what you gotta say. Some of them will just shoot you away. I made a phone call after a young black man was about he put his bike down. I was talking to myself that day. He put his bike down, started to reach in his book bag. What stopped him was I got on my phone and I called 911, and I'm talking to the lady on 911. I'm like, hey, there's a young black man. He's reaching into his book bag, and he's staring at me like he really called the police. You know what I'm saying? And he stopped reaching into his book bag, picked his bike up, and went across the street and sat across the street. These kids nowadays, they know the timing of the police here, or they may know the timing of the police here, there in your city. They picking up on the game. That's why everything is getting tore up. It's all about the kids. The kids are always doing the exact same thing that they've been doing for the longest. We did it when we was young.
And you know what's interesting too, though, man, is that you're kind of talking about how I will venture to say organized crime, quote unquote, uses children.
Yes.
So let's flip it around too. The government use children too, and the police use children, and other agencies, alphabet agencies, use children. Yeah. There's a reason that TV show came out years ago called 21 Jump Street. You got kids informing on the fucking payroll. Yeah. You know, when you're not even old enough to get a job as a fucking paper route boy or work in a restaurant or work in a store, you can work for the government. I was skateboarding at a skate park, dude, and these cops were there, but they were off duty. They had their daughter, who's a little kid, maybe 5 years old, ride by where I was over at with other skaters, and we were smoking herb. They actually had their little daughter ride by on her scooter and videotape us and then go back and show them the footage. And that girl was 5 years old, and him and his little fat chucklehead beer drinking cock smoking friend. Damn, I forgot I'm on a church property. Sorry, St. John's Church. But you know, I'm like, how can y'all use a little kid? And that's just for fun and games. Imagine the international spy scene, and imagine how they breed people and how they harvest eggs from actually intelligent people. I know people from this area, high IQs, you can't measure them. They have their eggs harvested and pay for their college by donating eggs. Imagine the sperm and the eggs have been saved up to make these
some people get chosen while they're at home because their folks used to be they used to be ex-secretaries for the government.
Yeah, of course, man. Yes, and then it's all connections.
They leave the area of let's just say they leave D.C. and they go out to the country and they meet unexpected moms. And they're like, oh, your baby look nice. Your baby's nice and healthy. Yeah. And they'll literally stick around for years and years until that child becomes an adult or becomes of age to start producing sperm or eggs. Yeah. They'll hang around. They literally hang around. I know some people like that. I'm a victim of that. It's crazy. So.
You know, I met a woman too, man. She was sold illegally as a baby in Texas, and it's a whole thing about it. And she told me a lot about it, but it's basically like the woman basically said, "You can take the baby. We'll talk later." And the next day it was like, "Just give me that boat, the title to that boat you were talking about, and you can have the baby's yours." And
a baby for a boat.
The woman took a boat title so her son could have a motorboat. In exchange for a baby. And you're talking probably 1950s, 60s. So a boat back then, you know, I don't know, man. It's strange to hear, it's strange to just fathom how people can even do that, man.
Yeah, people do it all the time.
I know.
They select the ones that they want, and they just the movie Taken. They validate them as pure. You never seen your viewers probably have seen Taken.
I don't have viewers, but maybe but I'll say our viewers, man, because I don't necessarily have too many really, but I think my channel's 150 subscribers.
150. That's good enough.
But I don't think you really watch too much.
Liam Nielsen. That's him.
Liam Taken.
Yeah.
So they snatched his kid.
Yeah, they snatched his kid. You seen the movie in Paris.
He's a bad motherfucker, but I don't know that.
And sometimes they mark him for life, and then they get most people never figure out why they woke up and they have a new supposedly birthmark, or the genitalia has been altered. No, it's crazy.
Well,
it's crazy. It's crazy. For the women, they may they may give them certain marks on their face. So, oh, that's a whore. For the men, by just me knowing for myself, like how like when you're a kid, you may have masturbated or whatever and play with yourself. So you're constantly looking at your genitalia.
Sure.
So one day I wake up, I now have a black mark on the head of my penis, and around the edge of my penis has been made for a woman's pleasure.
Huh.
So
I don't know what that means, dude.
it's crazy.
Well, sounds almost like you're talking about circumcision, sort of in some ways, but well, I know motherfuckers who do cut so down when I was a job coach and talking to different people, this dude told me how I guess someone owed somebody some money, so they came in and basically, I think, cut his girlfriend in front of him on her face and said basically to remember. And and so sometimes you see people with scars on their faces. That's because they fucking pissed off some kind of psycho and they'll cut their face, like you're talking about. And it's the same thing, I guess, huh? But that's much more like
it could have been what it was.
Rather than just a brand or a mark. That's like a vicious, that's an assault reminder that I just cut your wife in front of you and you're never going to do anything about it, and we live in the same community for the rest of our lives.
It happened like
power shit.
It happened in my sleep. Like I never was awake and got like knocked out or anything. So whoever it was, they got angry. They got angry. The reason why they got angry is because I told them they like to sell their white dog shit. So they got upset about that, but they never faced me man to man. So they kind of like whoever they are, they're a coward.
And that's the thing, man.
And my people gonna catch you, so
that's what I'm saying, man. And it sucks, man. I hear so many terrible things all the time. You know what really makes me upset, man? I used to run a job center for a year down in Fredericksburg, Virginia. For a company that I don't really care for. But I was so sad when I heard of an 80-year-old man excited to get a $10 an hour job.
Yeah.
Because you can't, as a young person, live on $10 an hour. And he had a career. And he's 80, so he was probably in the military, right? So he served in the military, had a career up here with Amtrak or something, as a dude who made sure the wheels were proper or some kind of measuring type, And still, the man had to still get a job to make $10 an hour. And I was like, man, when you're 80, you should be doing chilling shit.
Yeah, playing backgammon or something.
So I was like,
bingo.
And so but that's just one, an economic. But I'm talking all kind of sad stories. This dude from this one Department of Social Services tried to recruit me to work for him in King George County down there near Fredericksburg. And he told me stories he was like, well, you're gonna have to face some weird stuff. And all these books you'll have to learn, he had all these laws and all these computer things. And I was like, I don't know. But then he's like, and sometimes you might have to watch a kid for up to 3 or 4 days, and you have to, they might try and stab you, and you just gotta be alert with them the whole time until they get placement. It's for the courts, and it's all background.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, I don't know, dude. And then he started talking about some stuff what else was he talking about? It was basically a grandfather. He had to go to one site years ago, and a grandfather had taken their grandchild and wrapped them in barbed wire, and that's brand new barbed wire. He also told me one a parent was shooting at their kid with a gun, and the kid had to run away. So but I mean, these are little stories. There's all kind of, and then I would bring it up to some people I know, and they're like, yeah, but dude, that's the United States, dude. Think about other stuff. And I used to teach adult ESL. I had a student from Guatemala, and the man was sad. I was like, what's wrong, man? And this is probably about 15 years ago. I used to teach part time. But he was from Guatemala. I said, what's wrong? He was my brother. Basically, his brother was shot by rich people's guards in Guatemala because he was out past curfew, and nothing happens. So, and if you really want to get interesting, if you like to read, man, I recommend this book called I, Rigoberta Menchú.
Wait, you got to say that again.
It's called I, Rigoberta. I can write it down. I have paper and pen. It's called I, Rigoberta Menchú. And basically, it's about a woman who talks about all the atrocities that happen in Guatemala between the military taking the people who don't want to. The indigenous people are like, dude, we're from here, dude. Fuck off, beat it. The people who keep going into the jungle further, but they would go into the mountains further. Yeah. I mean, they would go into the cities when they had to, but the guards would kind of do what you're talking about with the people and the girls and the women.
Yeah, mark them.
or take them. You know, like, oh, she's the beautiful one. Let's go. The military, and you know, they come in and do what they want. You know, or like you get into this weird old English bullshit, that first night thing, where you get married, but the king's fucking royal, the king's like military get to come in and bang your wife, so the first child belongs to the military family, not to you. What's that called? First night. That's the old English. That's the old English military way. No wonder their fucking kingdom failed. You know, but like first night. And some people say that's how the term fuck came about. Fornication under the command of the king. And so the first night, and so that movie Braveheart with Mel Gibson, when he's like painted blue, because they came in and did that, they tried to do that to his wife, and then I think they killed her.
Wow.
And then they're like, yeah, man.
So what did you say? The child belongs to the military and not
because the man doesn't get to have his wife the first time. The military guy does to impregnate her the first night. They get the marital rights first before you do with your wife. It was an English royal thing.
Oh, that was an English royal thing.
Old English, and that's why I said
old.
no wonder they failed. No wonder they failed.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's strange to think that that's even possible.
Cause I won't let nothing like that fly. Like even if I'm 60, 70, motherfucker, you gonna catch these shells.
Hold on, let me find my pen. I'll write that down.
Excuse my language. Oh,
No, that's cool, man. We good.
Excuse my language.
God meant the curse words too. Really, I have a pen and everything. But basically, man, like people will say, well, think about that. And Rigoberto Menchú tells all these stories. Now they've tried to refute it lately and say it's not true, but isn't that what history tries to do? His story, they try to do that. You know? But it talks about all the atrocities. And I met someone recently from Guatemala. She's a woman. And I started talking about that book. She was like, holy shit, you know that book, basically? I'm like, yeah, I know that book. I studied it in my anthropology class at the University of Maryland years ago. When I also took a class called Resistance in the Indigenous Americas back in the day about the Spaniards coming in. The Spaniards wreaked a lot more havoc than the English or the French. Think about it, man. They came in with 300 motherfuckers, went to Tenochtitlan, also known now today called Mexico City, and basically came in, which is a modern city with canals and all kinds of crazy stuff. They came in because they came in on ships with horses, which never existed here. Did you know there were no horses in North America before the colonists brought them here?
What? So what?
There were no horses in the United States or South America, Central America.
So what were the Indians supposed to be riding?
They weren't.
They was using buffalo?
No, they ate buffalo. That was their resources.
So why were there photos of them riding on horses?
Because they were brought here. Indians are fucking on point.
So the Indians
like,
walk
man, we ride your
everywhere.
horses without saddles. You bitches use saddles. We won't use saddles.
So the Indians walk everywhere, like you.
Pretty much. Or they would use like some kind of an animal to pull or something, but they would not ride them.
Wow.
Yeah, there was no horses here, man. Years ago, there was a two-cloved horse, like type thing. Hi, how are you?
How you doing? That's
It was
what
like
Joe was talking about. He
so,
said
yeah.
we need to know our history. The
So like,
Indians.
so there was no horses back then. But they came in with horses, shiny armor, and big boats. And it was wow. They came in like 300 motherfuckers and took the city and took all the gold and then ran out. And then they came back and they slowly went into the warfare thing, which is all content.
Yeah.
Yeah, I Rigoberto Menchú did great. And it really, it's kind of, when people start saying that's crazy, the government wouldn't talk like that, they wouldn't do that, you're like, read this book. You know, when you start talking about Nicaragua, El Salvador, all kind of fun spots where we put our little pudding down in there and fuck shit up and like take the soldiers go down. I mean, the Secret Service themselves got caught in Colombia when the president went down like that. Remember that shit? Fucking like banging hookers and like hurting them and shit or something like that.
Oh yeah, they always get caught, you know, doing a little dope dealer thing.
No, it ain't
They
even
still
that,
get
dude.
caught to this day.
It's more like taking the women, dude, for money. You know, banging them out and like.
Oh
hurting
yeah,
them.
yeah.
I'm talking on camera about this. I'm sorry. I'm in front of a church.
Yeah.
You
I understand
calm
that.
down.
I bumped into somebody who said that they do that.
I know. Hey, I'm gonna tell you what though, man. We got almost 35 minutes on this thing, man.
Wow.
I better power. I know it goes quick, don't it?
Yeah.
Hey, and we got one of the famous guys in the world right on the camera, I think, right there. That guy's.
Ultimate Showtime.
Yeah, some kind of famous guy. Unless maybe that's his name. Is his name Showtime, or is he from Showtime Channel? I don't know.
He said he was from Showtime.
I don't know, dude. I'm sure I'll find out. So I'm sure somebody I know knows who the famous guys. I don't know who famous people are anymore. So.
Yeah, I don't keep up with them. They don't keep up with us.
I don't shit. You know, when people get all bent out of shape about like famous actors or rappers or
Start screaming,
athletes
throw their
or
underwear on
scientists
on
dying
stage.
are dying, and I'm like, I don't care about that. Nobody cared when my grandfather died except me and a couple people. I don't give a fuck if
right.
famous people died.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Nobody cared when my famous people died.
Oh,
you know?
so and so died. Oh, so and so just got killed. But you know, oh, so and so just overdosed. Well, oh, so and so just, you know, they love living their life and enjoying themselves and doing the things they do. Don't feel bad for them. They made their own bed. They got to lie in it. like every president before us, they made their own bed. They have to lie in it, so they have to deal with their own consequences. So y'all, you know that.
Yeah. Okay. So it's I, Rigoberto Menchú, about Guatemalan atrocities.
Yeah.
That's this book I'm telling my friend Corey about here. It's I, Rigoberto Menchú. It's about Guatemalan atrocities. If you don't believe it, say everything's like fabricated. This is kind of where the root problem is, about the disruption of families and loss of people not being taking human life sacred. Do you want to take a picture of this like I said earlier? Or
Yeah.
Piece of paper. Okay. My man was like, I don't really take stuff anymore because it just gets messed up and wet or lost. So I take a picture of stuff. Down there?
Yeah.
Cool, bro. You heading out?
But yeah, man, it's like it's just
Give it a ring.
like you meet like
It's gonna rain.
yeah. I think it's gonna drop in here.
I'm trying to get out of this thing.
You meet nice people all the time, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
Some
Good people everywhere,
servicemen
dude.
are nice,
Yeah, man.
like
Oh,
'cause
yeah.
they were taught by their
Yeah.
dad and their dad's
Yeah.
dad, and they
Yeah.
taught them right.
Well, it's because they look the other way and they try and think it's not true.
Yeah.
These things couldn't be true, and if they do, it's a really remote thing. But like, dude, like almost everybody I know was either raped or molested, or both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Straight up, dude. It's kind of weird to think like that, and to think that, like I was saying earlier, there's maps of those people free in our country, in every community.
Yeah.
How is it even possible that there's maps of pedophiles and rapists and sex offenders and sexual predators free in every community in this country? And there's maps of it online and nobody's outraged. And if people say that sexuality doesn't change, which is, I'm cool with that, then they ain't gonna change neither, which means they're out here trying to prey on everybody in the community. Children, ladies, and guess what? Me and you too, bro. As adults too.
Yeah.
We wake up in a room, chained somewhere, drugged. We don't know what happened.
Here's
It happens to men too, straight
another
up.
guy.
And men and women are the criminals as well as the victims. There it goes. And children are some of the offenders too. How do you think people get pulled into that shit over time in life?
Another guy I bumped into, he said that he had been using, and the next thing he knew that they whoever he got in the car with, they went past the stop that he wanted to get out at, and they tried to turn into this alleyway. He says he jumped out the car and started running. That happened here in D.C.
And you know, man,
They
like,
always trying to take us.
you know, man, like, and that's the thing. That's why I'm so glad that cannabis, ganja, weed, marijuana, weed, whatever's legal, because, man, back in the day they'd spray stuff on, do whatever. So you don't know what you're getting, but if it's legal, if you really care, you can just put it in a seed and grow it yourself now,
Most
and not
definitely.
be a criminal. Or you could get from your friends or from the places that are reputable, that are solid, and you're not getting weird shit, bad stuff with bad stuff sprayed on it, or weird
Yep.
stuff you don't know what it is. And I'm honestly, man, like,
No weird fertilizers, nothing like that.
Can I tell you my weird theory, man?
What's that?
My weird theory is this: like, if everybody has databases, like all the medical companies, all the businesses, all the agencies, all the government, if everybody has databases, well, guess who else has databases? Scarface, The Godfather, New Jack City. So you see what I'm saying? So like, everybody got databases. So that means like, if you don't know that you're getting a good cannabis and it's not tainted, like with the weird stuff, like
Yeah.
you're saying getting drugged or whatever.
You can taste it.
Yeah, but I'm saying like, yeah, but sometimes, what do they say that stuff? Some drugs you have one time and you're hooked, and you won't even know.
Oh,
So after you
yeah,
smoke it a few times,
yeah.
if they're putting a little bit on your stuff, like
Yeah.
people are putting DMT on people's stuff sometimes.
What is DMT? Like I
It
really
kind of takes you. So ayahuasca down in the Amazon jungle that the medicine men take to go into the spirit world. Ayahuasca, which some people go down there and do that. They do it now here too. But DMT is like a kind of like a derivative, like a chemical based upon that whole thing, like from it.
Oh, so it's like a psychotic.
It was kind of like it could take you in a time space. Like one dude, I saw a documentary said it took him away for about 10,000 years. So like it only lasts in this world about 15 minutes, but when you're gone for a long time. Like my friend talked about like weird geometric patterns, light beams, beams of light, like a lot of weird stuff. Some people talk about like demons and weird shit, and then they say sometimes it comes back after that. The first.
Is DMT in liquid form?
I don't know. I think it's a crystal thing. I've only seen it one time, and I was like, what the fuck is that?
Can it be put in liquid form? But I think somebody may have
I
given
don't know.
that to me because
There's also liquid LSD though.
liquid LSD.
Yeah.
Does LSD taste like bubblegum?
I don't know, dude. No, I don't think so. I've only done acid like 3 times. And it was like 30
Just
30 years ago. So 30 years ago. Nah, dude, I don't know. It doesn't taste like bubblegum. Nah, but see, like when I smoked really shitty weed back in the day, it tasted like laundry soap or smelled bad, and they'd be like, oh, it's just for packaging, and they just mail it.
Yeah, I smoked
And
something
I'd
that
be
smelled
like,
like
what?
Lysol.
But yeah, but see, exactly,
That was
spray
a while
stuff on
ago.
it and mess people's brains up, man.
Yeah.
Like mine and yours apparently maybe.
Yeah.
So like, As long as
Yeah, mine is messed up. They gave me plenty of
That's like
things.
the first thing, man. If we put herb legal for everybody, man, then at least we know that when we're trying to chill out and maintain our happiness and like keep it together, that we're not smoking something other than what it is, because it's tainted, man. And you tell me this: if I get a pill from you, I can go to jail. But if I get it from a doctor, I'm perfectly okay and good with society. What does that mean to you? Think about that. If you give me a pill right now, we could go to jail. But if I went up the block and got it from CVS, we ain't going to jail. How's that work?
Like,
look, if we both had prescriptions to a pill, we could go to CVS and get it right now.
Yeah.
Okay? But if I had one and I sold one of mine to him, we could go to jail. So a PhD could hook it up. Oh, we got some activists right here. Oh, yeah.
That's what they got the book.
Okay, they're coming now. I'm gonna power this Jonestown. We went almost an extra 10 minutes. I don't know what they're activating over down now.
For change. Oh, they're looking for change. I think racism and change.
I don't need change. I need actual dollars. I need some Bitcoin. Don't protest for change. Protest for Bitcoin. Change ain't nowhere. People don't want change anymore. In fact, they said there's a shortage of change back during the pandemic, which was supposed to last a year to a year and a half, but they just extended it to January 18th, according to the Joe Biden administration over here in the White House a block away. They just extended the pandemic until January 18th, and there are many more restrictions now. And they're actually going global with the restrictions on all international travel. You better get your shots soon, and you better get your real ID soon if you want to go into any public buildings or any really major stuff. And guess what? It's about to get even funnier. I bet you it's going to be real funny for some people. Real funny for some people, and for some people it's going to be the worst. And maybe it's going to be worse for me. I don't fucking know.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy.
It's crazy how it happened though, cause it's like they how basically in the wild in this society they always go after the stragglers.
Yeah, man. Exactly, man. Yeah. 100%. Yes.
That's what they do.
Yeah.
They see you may be walking by yourself. Oh, look at him, he's lonely, he's vulnerable.
It's like on the tundra,
easily
man.
manipulated.
It's like on the tundra. You know? The lone gazelle, the lone bison, the lone, whatever.
Yeah.
You know? That's it. Shit.
You can start there in a minute.
What's that?
You can start using the loudspeaker.
Oh, here it goes, dude. You're activating. You're gonna activate some shit. I'm just gonna smoke resin. There's no weed in here, but I'm gonna smoke this. It's called resin. Another lighter.
But they show looking over here.
All right, dude. Look, activism is not terrorism. Junk terror law. I like that. Who's looking over here?
White shirt and the guy from earlier.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you know how it is. Now they got the hickey friend with one tattoo. Thinks they're cool. They're watching us too. You know, the person with one tattoo is always the problem. Look at her tattoo. Cool. What is it? The Tasmanian devil?
Oh yeah,
cool.
sit down.
Huh? Yeah. Trying to look like cool with the long hair. You know, really, it's probably ex-military person on pharmaceuticals.
Yeah, that is ex-military.
Pharmaceuticals. Get him, y'all. Get him. I swear to God, I'm not right.
I gotta charge my.
Yeah. There it is. It's Rufus. Well, the activists are about to start falling down here. We got the megaphone out. Just in time for the rain. Yep. Come down. Then we're waiting to start this, to stop this video until we start blasting our sound offs. The funny thing is they all showed up without masks on, and now they're putting them on. They're going to be on camera, so they put their masks on. It's very entertaining. I think it's very entertaining. They show up without masks on, but put them on when they get here. Have to give each other hugs, and like they've all not touched doorknobs across the city, just like every fucking other person in the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wait, say that again. Say it again. I was listening to what they.
I said it's kind of funny that they come here without masks on, give each other hugs, and they put their masks on when they're about to be on camera. You know, when they've all just touched every single doorknob in the city, just like everybody else in the whole world. See what I'm saying? And but they're gonna. But it's cool, man. You know, you can live in fear if you want. You know. Meantime, they'll go home and eat some shit out of a box or a can or drink a soda or get drunk with their friends on Friday night and live for the weekend. Don't ask me. Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it's funny, they walked up, hugged each other.
Uh-huh.
I said they walked up.
Yeah,
hugged
when they walk
each
up, hug
other.
each other, and they put their masks on. Like what's the point of that? Do they have
I
a logo?
know.
Do they have a logo? Is it a product? Product
They,
placement?
They've opened the clubs back.
All
And
kind of shit to do.
yeah, the bars. All the bars are open.
Yeah, everything's open.
And everybody's going in there without their mask on and standing in line.
So there's starting to be some places that are requiring proof of vaccine. And like I took a picture of my card, but like, yeah, man, it's like that. And then like now I think it's gonna be like required for travel, including like negative tests and like different things. Like, and they're trying to. It's another fear way to keep those borders up. You know, look at that eagle right there, dude. That's a hawk. It's an osprey, I think.
What's the offer?
I think it's an osprey.
But make everything look like it's still
you know,
alive.
Well, they got to keep the borders somehow because you know what? We don't care about borders anymore, do we? And those protesters right there, I can tell you, they don't care about the border. They look like the Muppet family, so they're so rainbow flavored. So I mean, like, you know, I mean, so you got from light to dark over there. So I mean, it's like nobody gives a fuck anymore. So they got to keep the borders up, you know. So this is the new way to do that. And there's enough stupid people out there who will accept payment to shoot their brothers and sisters on a planet for no goddamn reason other than for payment and a border. And that's it. And those are the same people who like to sell human beings and buy them and sell them with our tax dollars for our military troops and other people who are in service and are on the payroll. Anyways, let's see. What's that megaphone? I think it's probably time for me to go home. And that's an offensive thing to say to you, man. Because my friend lives across the river, let me stay in the basement, you know? Or to anybody else who's homeless, man. You know what I'm saying? Human rights, bro. They want to talk about they shut this world down for compassion and love, the coronavirus. Then how come there's grandparents on every street corner, not every street corner, but in every city across this country, starving on the corners, begging for help? Grandparents, old people. And how come children in this country, the only shit they eat sometimes are the food at school, which means in the summertime, the school systems in our country are feeding children because their parents can't even feed their own children. What does that tell you about the state of our country? I mean, really, man. If kids are helping each other, like you and I were talking about when we first started talking like a while back, if kids are helping each other because parents are not helping them, and parents are making their children a victim, and parents are making their children commodities, what's that? And that's parents, yo. That's the family at the very closest level to the baby. We got like a whole generation of motherfuckers that ain't even wanted. When they get put outside, the family even turns away like their parents. Dude, my dad traveled the world, worked on multiple continents, and told me one time when I got married, if y'all ever need a down payment for a house, just let me know. You know what he said when I called him?
What's that?
Whatever. He bragged a lot till it came time when I went, whatever.
So you left?
Huh?
You said till you left?
Nah, man, that was only a few years ago, man. I'm 49, so. Yeah, you know, my mom was out in Texas near my brother and the grandkids, you know. Can't stand them at all. I can tell you my horror stories too, man. But shit, a lot of good things too. A lot of good things too, man. I think the best is the future. The best is yet to come, though. I hope.
I've seen a lot of good things.
Dude.
Yeah. So.
And all you got is one way to look up. I mean, if it ain't gonna get no better, and all we can do is look up, then shit.
You see, both of us, we still here. We're not in prison.
Nah.
We done been through a lot. But hey, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
And you just grow up. You know,
Exactly.
you become your own person. Like not a bad person. He walked up, started talking to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like most kids here in D.C. I'm not a kid. I'm a grown man. I'm 33.
Yeah, I'm 49.
So most kids here, most men here in D.C. If he would have walked up, just because of skin color, if he would have walked up and started talking, then, what? White boy, get out my face. Get going somewhere. They have been high, not, but the other people, black people who have sense. Oh, hey, how you doing? Cordial. Oh, is that a way? Oh, you look for such and such? Okay, thank you. You have a good day. Yeah. Some of them, they just want to be ignorant for the rest of their life.
Yeah.
I'm not with that. We stay divided, we're gonna die. This is like the zebra that cuts off from the herd. What the lion gonna do? Oh, look, you're gone. The lion's going to get you. What you think happened to the U.S.? What were we doing? We was over here fighting, black and white. What was that? What does this say?
That's my line. It's my goddaughter, Analia.
Oh. It looks almost like it's like some like a Aztec style. Yeah. But listen, I'm gonna just say this. I'm gonna say this, and then we can change the subject.
Yeah.
But what were we doing this whole time here in the U.S.? We was going black this, black that, Mexican this, Iranian this, Iranian that. And then what happened? Somebody was over somewhere going, we finna cook something up for them. They over there fighting. They ain't even paying attention. It may have not been China. It may have been somebody else. But then we got hit with COVID. Because we was over here fighting, not paying attention, not keeping our eyes open, ears open. It's going to happen again because we finna get balled right back up because we always use somebody else's technology.
When they say the Delta variant, but the thing is, like, Delta variant, like, science is mutations. That's what science is. The science of evolution is based upon mutations. So if we're afraid of the Delta variant, there's going to be a new mutation every year. I mean, there's likely 1,000 variants right now of coronavirus. There's likely 1,000.
Right.
Straight up. I mean, that's what happens. It's what happens.
Yeah.
So I mean. So this year it's called Delta, just like the fake weed, fake cannabis, fake marijuana. It's called Delta because it's been modified. So it's kind of like that. So like that bad drug that was hurting people, spice, and they'd make it illegal, and then the makers that would just like change one genetic molecule, and then they'd sell it again because it was like just changed like with one electron or one extra carbon molecule or something. But like, yeah, man. So like, yeah, man. If there's always a variant of, dude, there was that movie that came out of China in 2018 where they talk about exactly what's going on right now. It's fucking crazy. They call it coronavirus. It's coronavirus in the fucking movie from 2018 China. And now, again, it was on YouTube, so it could be propaganda again.
Yeah.
Talk about the propaganda. But what I'm saying, like, so this year it's the Delta variant. Next year it's the American Airlines variant. Next year it's the Southwest variant. Next year, pick a new airline, pick a new name. I mean, what do you want? There's going to be variants of coronavirus for the next 10 billion years now, if we live that long. And there's a new variant probably every day in some way, somewhere on the planet, and it's so like, I guess if it's a successful variant, then they can name it and scare people with it. So we were told it was going to take a year to a year and a half. Now it's been extended to January of next year, and I mean, let's come back in January and say, okay, is it another year, another 2 years, huh? And are people getting like really arrested for like dumbass shit, like not wearing masks where you have to, like not just told to leave, but like,
You heard of that?
well, I mean, I saw something in New York where like a mom was with the baby in the subway, and a bunch of cops came up and like basically body slammed her ass for not wearing a mask and arguing with them about it. But that was like a year ago, man.
Because I've seen
and you
Alabama,
can guess again a little bit more of that than this,
Yeah.
So you understand? I mean, I understand too.
Yeah. So like I was saying, I was sitting I was sitting next to a trash can here in D.C. that was tipped over. I'm just sitting there, I'm sitting on my bag, I'm homeless. So I'm sitting there, some transit cops pull up like, hey, did you do that? I'm like, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
They're like, okay, and they just went on about their way.
Yeah, so mellow, cool cops. There's cool cops too.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It all
I'm
depends
not
on who you
down with
talk
that.
to.
All cops are bastard shit. My uncle was a cop in Philadelphia, and he used to take kids on boat trips, like up and down the what's it called, the intercoastal highway, on sailboats, to take kids out of the city and be like, hey, get out the fucking city and do something. And then they go, wow. That's like I made a new friend recently, actually, man. And she actually came up here from Richmond and bought me some clothes and shoes and stuff. I hadn't met her at one of these things, and like, she's like a do-gooder person, very cool person. And basically, like, she had a friend she met somebody who was 42 and had never been to the beach, age 42. She took the motherfucker to the beach down in Miami. She's like, let's go to Miami, I'll show you some shit. Can you imagine that being age 42, never seen the beach?
Never been to the beach. That's a doozy.
Age 42, never been to the beach.
This how it is. Like if I had stayed with my mother, I probably would have never left the state of Alabama. I probably would have died in Alabama. Because my mother, she got hooked on drugs early on. I remember my room, my playroom that I had. You know, I had the pool table that turned into a hockey table. It
Yeah.
turned into a ping pong table.
Yeah.
I had that, you know. And then everything outlined in the wall was nothing but toys, different sports, sports instruments, sport equipment.
Yeah.
And all that started changing when I turned like 8, 9.
Yeah.
It started to change. All that stuff started to disappear. I'm like, where my stuff going? I'm still young, you know what I'm saying? I'm still a kid.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop. I came home one day, the pool table gone. I'm like, but I guess it was because she was pregnant. Because it did become became the twins' room.
Okay.
So,
Okay. When I was a kid, man, my mom had a boyfriend after my dad left, and his son, who started when he was he was about 16. I was, a younger kid. I was still in elementary school. He started molesting me, man.
Yeah.
And so and I used to collect stuffed animals. I had all these stuffed animals, and I didn't know where they went. And I had to block stuff out of things gets gone.
Yeah.
Where did my stuffed animals go? And only in the last couple of years, I was like, oh, I get it now. So my mom had gone out. She's a single mom, because my dad's on weekend. But she's a single mom, so she would rely on other people, not necessarily family, for help or whatever. And she drank and stuff, and pain pills when she hurt her back, and so keep adding it up. The thing is she's maintained. She's all right, But the thing is she went to San Diego for training for I think 2 or 3 months, and we watched her during that time. And she wasn't even with the dad anymore. He might have been dead at that point, or she was just out of the picture. But that dude was my babysitter for those months, and I'm starting to have these flashbacks, weird shit with other people involved, and then I started thinking, oh, that's where my stuffed animals went at that time, because I used to line my stuffed animals up and teach them in class.
Yeah, when you're a kid, you memorize everything,
so
you know what everything was.
Yeah, so he probably started hearing me when he was watching me. He probably heard me talking about stuff that he was doing or something, and so he probably took my stuffed animals away, so I had nobody to talk about anymore.
Yeah.
My stuffed animals. My brother was kind of a dickhead to me.
Yeah.
So
I understand what you're saying. Those things.
Weird stuff.
They finna do something.
Do something for the protest is going. They're on it. They got to get cooking off the truck.
Yeah, loudspeakers and everything.
You don't even get water, do you?
Oh, you need a water? Oh, you want a fresh? You want cold water or something like that?
Oh my goodness! Oh, I just need one.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, thank you.
That's all you need. You sure you don't want this other water? For later.
I'll have to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
Oh, you're wow! What a seat! In
You
front of the
okay?
church. Look at that.
I'm going to go do something.
Oh.
All right. You have a good one.
Yeah.